Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine. So, children, today we are going to start chapter number 11, Light, Shadows and Reflection. So, children, in this chapter, we should know first what is light. Children, we know if we enter a dark room, the objects present in the room are not visible, and however, if we switch on a bulb or tube light, everything in the room becomes visible. Children, why is it happening? And the bulb gives out an invisible energy called the light. When this energy falls on the objects in the room, it bounces off from the surface of the objects. And finally, when this energy enters our eyes, the eye senses it and send a message to the brain. And it is finally the brain which really sees the object. Then after, the eyes are only an aid in seeing the objects around us. So children, why do we say that the light is invisible in nature? Well, when the light energy falls on the objects, we really do not see it. And when energy bounces off from the surface of the objects, enters our eyes, then the sensation produces by this energy helps our brains to see. And this process will take place very fast. Thus, to sum up, we can say the light is an invisible energy which causes us the sensation of vision. And children, when the light falls on any object, it bounces off from the surface of the object in all the directions. This is called scattering of light. So children, we know the sources of light also. An object which emits the light is called the source of light. And all the sources of light can be classified into two categories, namely the natural and the man-made category. So children, how do light forms? Light is electromagnetic radiations that we can see, and light beams are made of tiny packets called the photons. They travels from the source in a line through the space until they are obstructed by the matter. And what is the speed of the light? The speed of the light in the vacuum is defined to be exactly, we can say, this is the measurement units, meter per second. But children, the fixed value of the speed of the light in the SI unit result from the fact that the meter is now defined in the term of speed of light. And all form of the electromagnetic radiations move at exactly this same speed in vacuum. We know sun is the primary source of light, then stars are also the distance suns extremely far away from our solar system, and they are weak sources of light. In addition to it, the glowing electric bulb, burning candle, lighted torch, fluorescent tube light, all are the like lamps, all are the sources of light. Some insect like the glowworm and the fireflies emits the light in the darkness also. So children, there are some two types of bodies are present, luminous and non-luminous. All the bodies which emit the light energy by themselves are called the luminous object. And those bodies which do not emit the light energy their own but reflect the light energy falling on them, hence become the visible, are called the non-luminous bodies. So children, this is the picture in which they show that the light travels always in the straight line. You can see in this picture. Children, this is the reflection. We know about the reflection, but children, what do you mean by reflection? And what is reflection? Reflection of the light is either the mirror-like, secular, or diffuse, retain the energy but losing the image. So children, depending on the nature of the interface, furthermore, if the interface is between the dielectric and a conductor, the phase of the reflected wave is retained. And otherwise, if the interface is between two dielectrics, the phase may be retained or inverted depending on the light. So children, the reflection is very simple. Reflection of light, we know about this because the reflection means a phenomenon due to which a beam of light bounces off from a smooth polished surface in some other direction. And children, the next topic is the shadow. Shadows are formed when an object passes in front of a light, and as the light rays now bounce off this object, the ground objects behind the first no longer receives the rays and appears darker than the surrounding area. So we can say the shadow is a dark patch formed behind an opaque object when placed in the path of the light. So children, shadow is an area where the direct light from a light source cannot reach due to the obstruction by an object, and it occupies all of the space behind an opaque object with light in the front of it. And children, a cross section of the shadow is a two-dimensional silhouette. We can say the reverse projection of the object and blocking the light. After that, the sun causes also many objects to have the shadow, and at a certain times of the day, when the sun is act as a certain heights, the length of the shadow changes. So children, in this picture you can see the shadows. So hope children, this topic is clear. Today we have discussed about light, reflection and the shadow. So children, today's your homework is to read the chapter carefully, and any query you can write in query box. Hope children, this topic is clear. Thank you children.